Welcome to Style Masterclass, the podcast that teaches women to look stylish and feel confident so that they can show up ready to conquer and slay no matter what size they are. I'm your host, Miss J. You ready?
Welcome back to the Style Masterclass podcast. We are doing our ongoing series answering your biggest style struggles. Now, where am I getting all these questions? Well, if you haven't followed me on Instagram yet, I highly recommend you go to Judith Gatan, where I am asking you all, what are your biggest style struggles? And you are coming through with the questions. I'm going to take my time with this series, working my way through all of the questions that you're asking in hopes that this is going to be really beneficial to all of my listeners because I love you so much. I actually want to make sure you're getting the help you need to get you started, to get you moving forward on your stylish, empowered, gumption-filled, adventure-filled journey. So let's go. Today's question. I like too many different styles, so sometimes getting them to work together is a challenge. I love this question. It's so good. And it's so fun because the short answer is that's where the cool shit lives. For reals. Here's what I mean by this. Oftentimes I do style statements with clients and they have words that are seemingly opposite of each other. Stuff that they're like, how does that even make sense? How did my brain even come up with this? And I'm like, brains are so cool. It's so juicy. Because the juxtaposition between two things that are seemingly opposite, the middle point, that little cool crux in between, that's where the cool stuff lives. So my clients who tell me that they're feminine and fierce, right? My dear friend Brenda Lamelli, we did an amazing photo shoot for her. That is her style statement. If you go look at pictures of her, she's an embodiment of feminine and fierce. Now, those things might be seemingly opposite to some of us. But when we think about that in context of who she is, how she lives her life, how she wants to show up in the world, those pieces start to make sense. I had a client and she's a listener, so I'm just going to give her a little shout out. She knows who she is. Beautiful precision. She's an engineer. She works for a government entity where that's a huge part of her job. She's a specialist in that area. She loves beautiful things that are feminine in their own way. But she also loves precision. She loves clean lines. She loves architectural details. She loves things that fit well. Now, if we just said beautiful precision, those things might be seemingly opposite of each other. But when we blend them together and we're willing to play, that's where the cool shit lives. So I want to just offer to you a few things and why this sometimes becomes sort of this trouble, turmoil, challenge, if you will, when we have, quote, too many different styles. The first thing I see is you might be following old style paradigms that are not helpful, we'll just say. The paradigm of classic, bohemian, polished, professional, beep, boop, 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 right? We're leaving no room for nuance. A lot of us were taught we have to be one thing. Pick one. Pick one so that everything's cohesive, everything makes sense, blah, blah, blah. And we used to give people must-have lists. Here's your list of 10 items that are must-have lists if you're a classic. But modern humans don't live in very categorized roles. I dare say none of us ever lived in very categorized roles. We were always breaking the mold. That's why you're listening to this podcast. So if you're living in a world where you have to be one category of thing, that might be why you find it challenging. What I'm here to offer you is you don't have to be one category of anything. If you like a variety of different styles, then your mission, my friend, is to figure out a way to blend them together in a way that feels most like you. And if you're struggling with that, it might be that you think you have to choose one. And I want to give you a permission slip that you get to blend them all together in this beautiful cacophony of amazingness that is your unique style. Because I believe style is your thoughts and your feelings about yourself outwardly reflected. So if that's the case, you're going to have a myriad of thoughts about yourself. You're going to feel all kinds of different ways. You're going to want to outwardly express that in a myriad of different ways. And it's anybody's guess what that's going to be from day to day. And you just get to play. Which brings me to my second point. Oftentimes when we have a lot of styles that we like, I'm going to just use that using the old idea of what style is. But if you like too many different styles and getting them to work together feels challenging, one, you might feel like you have to choose between them. You don't. And two, it might be that you're a little worried about what some other folks might think if you fully show up in the different styles in all their beautiful nuances. So let's say you're following the old paradigm and you're like, I'm just going to keep using Bohemian Classic because that was a big thing when I was a teenager. But let's say you're following that kind of old mold. And you're like, I love a little hippie chic. I love, corporate polished. I love, sort of adventure-y looking, whatever it may be. The cool thing is we get to pull elements from each of those and it doesn't have to be prescriptive, right? So we don't have to put you in, let's say, fringe and velvet and then also wear a suit, classic suit. Like that might not make sense for you. But it might be cool if we found you a really amazing crushed velvet suit that fits you beautifully in a beautiful jewel tone and feels amazing with a silk blouse. Like, hey, that might be a beautiful way to blend together all the different things that you love. Chances are what's happening is you're not allowing yourself to play in all the ways that this could show up and all the ways that you can pull inspiration from the different things that you happen to love, because you might be a little afraid of what some other folks are thinking. And oftentimes I find that's actually what's getting in the way, not so much that there's an actual challenge in putting together things. It's the challenge of what will people think if I show up in this very much myself, maybe a little bit more loud than they're used to kind of way. And I just want to offer you will show up more confident, more relaxed in your own skin if you show up as yourself than if you're continuing to squash that part of you that enjoys all these different styles so you can conform to how other people might perceive you or how you think other people perceive you. The interesting thing is my clients who try to tamp down that part of themselves, she sneaks out more than they are aware of. And one of my favorite things to do as a coach sometimes is point out to them is, hey, you're actually living the dream already, babe. Look how you showed up in this outfit or this outfit or this outfit. We're already seeing so many of your different styles come to play. But I want to just offer, if you're struggling with the challenge of it, it might be because you think you, one, have to do it a very particular way. You have to choose one. Two, what other people might think. And three, I want to talk about the practical part of this. You might be like, I don't even know what these outfits look like. And that means you're not playing dress up enough. You're not allowing yourself to have the gift of failing in your outfits. And I just want to encourage you, go play. Go play. None of us are getting this right or perfect all the time. We're practicing. We're putting stuff together, finding some gems. Maybe 20% of the time to 80% of the time, we're having some serious fails. We're like, okay, no, that did not work. Take it off, take it off. No, that's just a no. And then sometimes like, oh my gosh, yes, amazing, perfect, love it, roll with it. Let's do that again. Let's replicate the results. But the only way we're going to get to that yes is by experimenting and failing and trying different combinations to hilarious results, to overwhelming results, to amazing results. Go play. If you find it a challenge, you're not playing enough. And I want to encourage you to spend some time, pull clothes out, lay them on your bed, create a little boutique space for yourself where you pull all of your favorite garments from these different styles. And your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to create as many outfits from these different styles put together to your heart's content, to your heart's delight, I might say. Go play. Go play, go play, go play. If you find you have too many different styles and it's challenging to get them to work together, you don't have to choose one. We don't have to be so preoccupied with what other people might think. And three, go play, put them out in a little boutique space, go make some outfits, go get some outfit fails. And I will see you here next time. Miss J out.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. To learn more about how to work with me, go to judithgaton.com. Click on the Start Here button to get access to my free personal style class. I give you a quick style win, a confidence boost, and you walk away with the tools to start getting stylish. Who doesn't love that? See you there. Miss J out.